Hello to all of you viewers out there. As you can see, this is the Florida Panthers long-time logo that they've been using since 1993. Close to 25 years now, which is a pretty amazing feat for a logo. And after 23 years, in case you haven't heard, the Florida Panthers, for the very first time in franchise history, are not only getting new jerseys, but they're also getting a new logo. Now the thing is, I'm honestly going to miss this logo. I've always liked it. I mean, it has its 1990s quirks, such as a lot of detail in the logo. But you know what? Every time you see this logo, everybody knows it's the Florida Panthers. Well, everybody who follows hockey would know that it's the Florida Panthers. I mean, they've had this logo for such a long time that, to be honest, it's really become quite a classic in the NHL. A lot of people have always found it to be a pretty decent logo. And you know what? I honestly can't say I disagree with those people. I honestly have always liked this logo. And the truth is, I mean, I'm going to miss it. And every jersey that this logo's been on, this logo has always looked pretty decent. And I think it's a little bit disappointing that they're getting a new logo and getting rid of this one here. But at the same time, Florida, unfortunately, for their fans, I mean, besides their one Stanley Cup final run, I mean, they have not had any real success since. So I can appreciate the franchise wanting to turn over a new leaf. Especially considering this team has been the center of quite a few relocation rumors over the years, and as this team is now finally starting to get a lot better now, I can definitely appreciate them wanting to start from scratch. So with that in mind, I want to show you guys Florida's new logo, which has actually just been leaked in the past couple of weeks. Anyways, as you can see, I mean, it's a hell of a lot less detailed than their long-time logo that's now retired. And this hasn't been unveiled yet, but many very credible sources that have actually seen their new uniforms have confirmed that this is in fact legitimate, that this logo you see right here, right now, will be the Florida Panthers' new logo going forward. Now, as you can see here, it's styled like a shield. It's a hell of a lot simpler than their longtime logo. And as you can see here, the cat in the logo is a hell of a lot simpler looking and less detailed. And overall, I mean, this isn't a bad logo. I mean, it has a very modern look to it. But the thing is, I feel like it's kind of missing the character and the charm that the old logo had. I mean, I know it's brand spanking new, and anytime you bring out a new logo, it takes time. You definitely, in my opinion, have to see it on a jersey before you can truly judge it. But honestly, I feel like this logo is kind of missing something compared to the old one. I mean, the old one, you've got this fierce leaping cat. And this one, you got a cat, a panther with a much calmer demeanor. I mean, and it's very, very minimalist. I mean, as you can see here, you see some blue markings on the part of the nose right there where my finger is. And that's a simplistic illustration of whiskers. Like, I mean, unfortunately, I mean, I think it's kind of disappointing that they didn't even get the whiskers on there. But anyway, I mean, as you can see here, I mean, it's not a bad logo. And to be honest, I think on the right jersey, I think it might actually be pretty decent. But the problem I have with this logo is that, in my opinion, it looks more like a soccer crest. I mean, this almost looks like something that an MLS or a Major League Soccer team would use, or a soccer team in Europe. I mean, for example, It's almost like someone like David Beckham got his wish of having an expansion MLS franchise in Miami and decided to call them the Miami Panthers, which I think would be a wicked name for a soccer team, to be humbly honest. But, you know, the truth is, I think it's a good logo. As a hockey logo, I kind of think it would make a much better soccer logo. But at the same time, I mean, it's not a bad logo, and I'd have to see it on a jersey before I can fully judge. But here's the thing that bothers me about this one. I think compared to this one, I feel like some of the original logo's uniqueness and creativity is kind of gone for something a little more streamlined, a little more generic. I mean, and here's my reasoning for it. I want you guys to take a look at this Jacksonville Jaguars logo right here. I mean, it's tough to say that these two logos are absolutely 100% different. I mean, they have quite a few similarities and some pretty big similarities. I mean, you got the head of a cat here and you got the head of a cat here. I mean, I'll give Florida credit. They got the neck there. Good. Hats off to them. Gives them a little more originality from the Jaguars. But that definitely isn't saying a whole hell of a lot. That's for damn sure. But also look, I mean, the Jacksonville's got a word mark above a cat's head. And the same shield shape as well, for the most part. Very similar. Okay, it's not quite the same, but it's very, very eerily similar. And I'm a little bit disappointed because I was hoping that the Panthers would have gone with something a little more original. And when I heard that the Panthers were going to do a logo with a crest, I thought that was a really neat idea. I mean, the truth is, I was kind of looking through some old jerseys in the NHL's history, and I looked at the Panthers, and I thought to myself a few years back, even before they came up with this, that, you know, the Florida Panthers could really do something cool with the head of a cat in some type of crest. And lo and behold, somebody else thought the same thing and came up with this. But the thing is, you know, I like the idea of a cat and a crest. It has a real old-time charm. The idea of it has a real old-time charm to it. But the thing is, I don't really like the execution here. And the thing is, it also, you know, it reminds me of Lamborghini's logo here. It's almost like they bought Jaguar and said, you know, we're going to make a new logo that's more like ours, and it's going to say Jaguar on top, and we're going to have the head of a cat. I mean, I'm going to be honest, this kind of looks to me a little bit like a car logo as well. I mean, it seems like whoever designed this logo was inspired by either a car company such as Porsche or a soccer team. But at the same time, I mean, I don't think the inspiration was a bad thing. I mean, this logo actually turned out to be quite decent, which is a nice surprise. So I'm going to look for it here. Hang on just a sec, guys. Let me see if I can find it. I mean, I know that the Florida Panthers were never inspired by this. And I would hope not, because that is one of the ugliest car company logos I have ever seen. But you see how this shape's been used in a lot of cases? I mean, this is an old car company that's gone like the dinosaurs, but you see how that shape, how they kind of have a similarity? I mean, that style of shield has been used in a lot of places, so that's why I'm a little bit disappointed. Now, the thing is, here's Florida's jerseys that are getting retired now. I mean, look at that old logo. I mean, look at how nice it looked on those jerseys. I mean, in my personal opinion, I didn't think it was the logo that needed to be changed. I've always felt that it was the jerseys. I mean, you look at this one, you look at their red jersey here, and you look at their white jersey here. I mean, they're very, very plain. And when they switched to these, from their Reebok Edge navy blue jerseys with the piping on the front, I mean, it was nice to see that they cleaned it up, but I felt like they needed to do more. Like, I felt that the navy blue all the way down the arms on such a bright jersey, I don't know. I found it very boring. I mean, I don't want to say they're bad because honestly, I didn't think they were bad, but compared to all the other red-wearing teams in the NHL, I felt like Florida didn't really stand out, and I didn't really care for that look. Now, here's another logo from the Panthers that I'm honestly really going to miss. I mean, look at this logo right here. I mean, I thought this was a brilliant secondary logo, and it's such a crying shame that they're getting rid of it for some state flag inspired shoulder patch, which unfortunately seems to have become the go-to thing for NHL teams to do in recent years, such as Calgary, Colorado, and Minnesota with their Stadium Series jersey by putting a roundel saying State of Hockey on the state of Minnesota, which for the Stadium Series, that logo was fine and dandy, but you know, I don't really care for these state flag designs because I find they're very generic, and instead of taking the time to develop a logo like this, which is a really nice, unique, and very creative secondary logo, they just take the state flag from whatever state the team's in, add a few things to it, and say, hey, good enough. Or another thing that they've been doing in recent years now is just putting their main logo in a roundel and sticking that on the shoulders. For example, with the Dallas Stars, the Minnesota Wild's road jersey, which I actually did a small rant on that in my last video, and also the Tampa Bay Lightning, where it says Tampa Bay Lightning Hockey Club with wrapped around their main logo on their shoulders. Like, where's the creativity? I mean, that's why I'm going to really miss this logo because, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that state flag logos are a bad thing, but a lot of times I feel like they're very boring, where it's just a little bit of nip and tuck to the state flag and, hey, good enough. You know, I just wish they'd spend more time actually making a decent logo. And that's also another reason why I'm going to really miss this old secondary logo that Florida used to have. And, you know, talk about a lack of creativity. I mean, this was such a creative logo, and it's such a shame it's going to be gone. Anyway, back to Florida's new logo. There's something else besides looking too a little bit generic that bothers me. You know what I find about this logo? I find that it's eerily similar to the Atlanta Thrashers crest. Truth is, when Florida's new logo recently leaked, I showed a coworker of mine Florida's newly leaked logo, and the first thing he said to me was that he honestly thought it had a striking resemblance to the Atlanta Thrashers. And you know what? I honestly totally agree with him. I mean, here, take a look at this. So take a look at this, and let's see here. You look at this, and you look at that. I mean, the shapes, they're not completely similar. They're very different. But the thing is, look at the shape of the crest, and then look at the shape of this one. I mean, there's a little bit of a similarity there, and I find that a little bit odd. And the truth is, if I was designing a logo for my NHL team, I can tell you guys one thing. I would definitely want to avoid looking like a team that was unfortunately a total failure of a franchise. And to all of you Atlanta Thrasher fans out there who may possibly be viewing this video here, I mean, I really do feel bad for you guys. I mean, personally, I'm super happy that Winnipeg got the Jets back, but at the same time, I wish you guys could have made it work in Atlanta because, for me, a hockey fan is a hockey fan. I've said that in a different video, but, I think it's a shame that, the good hockey fans in Atlanta got gypped because nobody else cared, and there was only a small group of them that really did care, and I hate that about hockey fans sometimes. Sometimes us hockey fans can be real bandwagoners, and, I find that a little bit frustrating, I'm not going to lie. Now, there was something else I think I wanted to show you guys here too. Let me see. If you guys give me just a quick second here. I want to show you guys the Airborne 101st logo that they were talking about making a look based off of. And it kind of frustrated me a little bit. And here's something about it. I mean, look at this logo here. I would have rather the Florida Panthers did something a lot closer to this than what they actually went with. I mean, you have this crest and then you have this one. I mean, I definitely see the Airborne inspiration where it says Panthers above the cat. But I wish they would have gone with the same shield shape. At least that way, I mean, not only would it be a little more original looking, but at the same time, I think it would have, I mean, compared to a lot of shield logos in sports, I think this one would have definitely stood out a lot better. And I think that if they made it more of an old-time looking logo, like I thought, according to the rumors, it was going to be, I think that would have been a lot better. But anyways, you know, to be honest, I really don't think this is a bad logo. I'm actually, you know, I can definitely appreciate the Panthers wanting to press the reset button. And I think that if this is on a Montreal Canadiens inspired pair of jerseys, I honestly think that it might actually turn out to be not too bad at all. I hope that's the case. I mean, Florida's last jerseys were okay, but they were very boring. And I hope that their new jerseys are really fresh and have a real nice look to them. And I think if they're going with something Montreal-based, or Montreal-inspired, you know, I think the Montreal Canadiens chest stripe around the chest, I think something like that could work. But you know what kind of disappointed me about the Panthers here? I really wish they would have tried to come up with their own unique color scheme. I mean, there's so many red and blue teams in the league. And I think it would have been nice if Florida tried a new color scheme with maybe a new color that no other team in the league has, such as turquoise. You know, I wish Florida would have kind of tried to push the envelope a little bit and go with a new color scheme. But at the same time, I mean, you really can't go wrong with red, white, blue, and gold. You really can't. So I can understand where they're coming from. But I wish Florida would have tried to been a little more unique. But who knows? I mean, their new redesign could end up being a real thing of beauty. Now, also, I've been hearing rumors that Florida is strongly considering a throwback jersey. I mean, this is Florida's original red jersey, and honestly, I thought that it was a decent jersey. It wasn't my favorite jersey in the world, but for a throwback jersey a few times a year, I think that would be a really nice jersey to bring out. Especially for the fans that really prefer that logo over this one. And for people like myself who always thought their original logo was arguably a classic. I mean, they really did a good job with that. But anyway, about this idea of Florida getting a throwback jersey, I can tell you guys one thing. I know for sure that due to the NHL's jersey rules, they can only have, whenever you change your home and road jerseys, you cannot bring in a new third jersey for one season. However, since throwbacks can be listed as throwbacks, while teams can still have listed alternate third jerseys, there is a loophole where as long as Florida wears their early 90s throwback, back when they entered the NHL in 1993, they could actually still bring out their original red jersey next season, as long as they only wear it for a maximum of 2 or 3 games like the Los Angeles Kings do with their gold throwback. So with that in mind, I could definitely see Florida bringing out a throwback from the mid-1990s, which honestly I think would be awesome to see. Anyway, so unfortunately, I mean, it doesn't seem like Florida's going to bring that jersey back as a third jersey, but the good news is that according to the rumors, it should be coming back as early as next season for the 2016-17 season as a throwback worn for 2 or 3 games, which I think would be a real nice touch. I mean, their original jerseys weren't too bad, even though my personal favorite was the original navy blue jersey with the red triangles on the shoulders, or the red triangular shoulders, I should say. I thought the colors really popped on that jersey. But anyways, you know, overall, I think this new logo's not bad. I like the old one a little better still, but I'd have to see this on the new jerseys to find out and to see for myself if I like it better. But anyways, you know, I feel like this logo's lost some of the original charm that the old one had. I thought the old one was borderline classic, and I mean, I'm not saying this one's bad. I just don't think it has that same uniqueness and creativity that the old one did. But anyways, overall, I mean, this logo is a good start. I mean, I just hope the jerseys are an improvement from their old ones. Anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up and just say that, you know, time will tell. We'll have to wait and see. Also, before I finish up this video here, there's actually one more thing that I want to quickly mention. And anyways, if you are a Canadian Football League fan, on May 12th, all 9 teams are unveiling new uniforms. So if you're a fan of the Canadian Football League, definitely expect a video from me sharing my thoughts on the new jerseys being unveiled in the next few weeks here. Anyways, I hope you viewers out there have enjoyed this video, and until my next one, take care and bye for now.